Hello everyone, my name is Rex. I'm one of the head trainers here for the PT course at Apparel Training Institute. Thank you for joining me today. And today we're going to talk about one of the main skills, which is reading, and in particular reading fill in the blanks. Reading fill in the blanks, I found, tend to sort of stress students, either due to the fact of not knowing the vocabulary and or time management. So I wanted to try to address both of those issues a little bit today and hopefully recommend some easier ways of accomplishing reading fill in the blanks. Now, as you know, basically what happens in reading fill in the blanks is at the bottom you're giving anywhere from 5 to 8 choices. And what you would do on the computer is you would click on the word and drag and drop. So another word or another name for this is reading drag and drop. In this particular exercise, as well as you are aware, every correct answer is 1 point, wrong answers are 0. So in the end, you always want to make sure to put something in the gap, because if you leave it blank, it's 0, whereas if you guess, you could get 1 right. But I want to talk about this concept of guessing as well. So let's begin by talking about what are the skills and strategies required for fill in the blanks. Number 1 is called grammar. As you know, with fill in the blanks, it basically requires you to know 4 types of grammar. Number 1, of course, is what is a noun being singular and or plural, and in some cases non-count. What is a verb being past and present tense in the fill in the blanks. What is an adjective, which is a word that modifies a noun, and what is an adverb, a word that modifies a verb. Due to the fact that the paragraphs are very long, if you know grammar, there's no need to read the whole paragraph. What I can do is go to each blank, and instead of looking at the words that go in the blank, I look at the gap and decide, is it a noun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb? After doing that, which again should only take less than 10 seconds because I just look and can automatically almost know which of those there are, I then look at the choices below and decide which of these choices fit the blank grammatically, again being which is a noun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb. For example, if we were to use the worksheet I have, it says technology and flexible work blank, and then after that have had a significant impact on today's busy companies. Now, instead of reading all that, I just look at the gap and say technology and flexible work, and then I decide noun, verb, adjective, adverb. Well, looking, we know that we have adjectives before, which is flexible work. Therefore, I know the gap would be a noun. In addition, because the word before is and, I know that it has to be a noun and it must have an S. Well, this makes our life easy because if we look at the choices below, we can see that number 1 then is focus. Number 2 is deals. Number 3 is way. Number 4 is practices. Number 5 is selling. Number 6 is output. And number 7 is extend. Therefore, this narrows it down to only 2, which is deals and practices. Now we know it has to be one of these 2 words. Now we want to think more about the logic by looking at the gap and saying flexible work deals or flexible work practices. And it would appear that practices seems to fit the gap better. Now remember, I'm doing it out loud, but this is what you would be doing mentally in the real test itself. Now, as I just did, as a double check, what I can do is softly read aloud what I put in the gap. Now, this is not done mentally. This is actually done physically with your voice, but very softly as I read. Technology and flexible work practices have had, and I think sounds right. Sounds right usually means that answer is indeed correct. So that I'm using both grammar and my speaking, again, very softly reading aloud. Let's do a few more then, just so you can see what I mean. Number 2 says, in terms of productivity, it seems the blank has shifted. Now we know the blank plus a verb means that has to be a noun. But now we know it's a noun without an S. So we look below. What are the nouns we have with no S? We have focus, we have way, we have output, we have extent. So we say, it seems maybe if we say way has shifted, then read it. It seems the way has shifted. It doesn't sound right logically. And we look at the other ones and we say the output has shifted. An output can't really shift. It seemed the extent has shifted. Once again, none of those make sense. Then we're left with focus, and we say, the focus has shifted. It sounds right, and then we think, can focus shift? And the answer is, of course, yes. And let's take a look at one more then. The last one said then, monitoring their total. Once again, we know it's a noun. Now we can't use an answer more than once because we'd have the other ones in the gap. So now we have to think a business has a total. It doesn't have a total focus. It doesn't have a total way. So once again, the only logical answer seems input, and we'd read it out loud, seems their total input. Again, this might seem like it's more time consuming, and that it probably does take a minimum of 2 minutes, a max of 3. But I found that this is really a method of maximizing your scores, because otherwise if you just drag and paste and hit next, there's words that have very similar meanings, and or you might have overlooked a word that changes the grammar and therefore giving you the wrong answer. And as I said, due to the fact that you have at least 2 minutes each gap, and most students take just 1 minute to complete them all, by slowing yourself down and using either step 1 vocabulary, step 2 and 3, which is grammar and speaking, you're going to maximize your scores and make sure that the rate of errors are reduced greatly. So I hope this helps and makes sense. And remember, these are the kind of tricks and strategies we teach you here at the school. So if you'd like more information, of course, give us a call. We'll be more than willing to help you. And of course, enrolling in the class is the best way to get the total package. So thank you for joining me today. I hope it's been helpful, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.